Alright, so if you mainly play Switch for chill solo sessions, story runs, and that one more quest before bed vibe, this list is for you. I picked 10 single-player games that feel like real, sit-down experiences in 2026, the kind you buy and actually finish, not just install and forget. Some are big remakes, some are new names, and a couple are those weird surprises that end up living in your head for weeks. Let's jump in. Let's jump! If you never played this version, 2026 is still a perfect time to fix that. What I love about INTERGRADE is how it makes Midgar feel like a real place, not just a backdrop. The combat is my favorite kind of hybrid. You get flashy action, but you still have to think and swap characters at the right moment. Cloud feels heavy, Tifa feels fast, Barrett feels like a tank, and it never gets old. The story hits hard even if you already know the classic, because the pacing and character scenes are so strong. Also, the Yuffie content is not filler. It's genuinely fun and gives you a fresh angle on everything. This is an easy must-buy for solo players. Whenever I want a single-player game that actually makes me focus, I look at Resident Evil stuff first. Requiem gives me that vibe where you inch forward, listen to every sound, and suddenly realize you have been holding your breath for 10 seconds. What makes it work is the pacing. You get scary exploration, then a burst of panic, then a calm moment to patch yourself up and keep moving. I'm also into how these games reward smart play, like choosing when to fight and when to run. If you love atmosphere, tight level design, and that classic survival tension where resources matter, this is the kind of game you sink into for a weekend and come out feeling like you survived something. Pure single-player goodness. Dragon Quest is comfort food for me, and Dragon Quest VII is the kind of adventure that just keeps unfolding. If this reimagined version lands the way I hope, it's going to be a long, cozy, story-packed journey with that classic Dragon Quest heart. I love the idea of rebuilding the world piece by piece, meeting new towns, and watching small stories turn into big ones. The turn-based battles are simple in the best way because the fun is in party building, job choices, and that steady sense of growth. It's also a perfect handheld game. You can do a chunk of story, save, and come back later without feeling lost. If you want a big solo RPG, put this high on your list.
You.
This is for anyone who wants a single-player game that feels like a TV series you cannot stop watching. Yakuza games are always a mix of serious crime drama and totally goofy side stuff, and that contrast is exactly why I love them. In Kiwami 3, you get that classic street brawling, plus a city full of distractions that somehow become your favorite memories. Then Dark Ties adds that extra hook, like a second season that turns the drama up. What I enjoy most is how personal the stories feel, even when the plot goes big. You walk down a street, help a stranger, then 2 minutes later you are in a major story moment. If you like character-driven games, this is a must-buy for solo play. I know Animal Crossing is not story-heavy, but for single-player relaxing, it's undefeated. This edition feels like the cleanest way to play it again, especially if you want smoother performance and a prettier island vibe. What I love is that it's a game that respects your pace. You can grind for an hour, or you can hop in for 10 minutes, check shops, do a quick task, and bounce. It's also one of the few games where your progress is visible in a way that feels personal, because your island slowly becomes your thing. If you are burned out on intense games, this is the perfect reset. I always end up coming back, even if I take a break for months. That's the magic. I'm always down for a new Pokemon single-player journey, especially when it feels like it has its own identity. Pokopia sounds like the kind of region where exploration matters, where you actually want to walk off the main path and see what's out there. For me, the best Pokemon games are the ones where the world feels alive, trainers are fun to fight, and building your team becomes this personal story. I also love when a Pokemon game gives you reasons to rotate your party, try weird types, and not just use the same 6 forever. If Pokopia nails that, it becomes a perfect solo game for 2026, because you can take your time, catch stuff, experiment, and just enjoy that classic loop. I'm hoping for good towns, great music, and tons of surprises. This is the kind of game I buy when I want something different, something more emotional and weird in a good way. Memories in Orbit feels like a solo sci-fi journey where the atmosphere does a lot of the storytelling. I'm a sucker for games that let you drift through abandoned places, pick up little clues, and slowly understand what happened. If the gameplay matches that mood with smart exploration and satisfying movement, it could be one of those hidden favorites people talk about all year. I also like when a game trusts you to connect the dots, instead of explaining everything. This feels like a headphones-on kind of experience, the type where you play at night and the vibe just hits. If you want a single-player game that feels fresh, keep your eye on this one. Sometimes you just want a single-player game that makes you feel unstoppable, and Dynasty Warriors is exactly that. Origins is the kind of pick where I can turn my brain off a little but still feel like I am mastering something, especially when combos start flowing and the battlefield turns into pure chaos. What I like most is the scale. You get that 1 versus 1,000 energy, and it never stops being fun when the game is running well. It's also great for bite-sized sessions. You can clear a battle, upgrade, and move on. And if the story presentation is stronger this time, even better, because the Three Kingdoms setting always has cool characters and rivalries. For solo action fans, this is a must-buy kind of comfort game. Dispatch feels like one of those single-player games that surprises people, because it is not just about action, it is about choices, pacing, and tension. I'm into games where you feel like you're managing situations, making decisions under pressure, and living with the consequences. If Dispatch leans into that, it can be the kind of story game that is perfect on Switch, because you can play a chapter, think about it, then come back later. I also love when a game makes small moments feel intense, like a simple conversation or a decision that changes how someone treats you. That is my kind of immersion. The Switch 2 edition makes it feel like the best way to play it handheld, especially if performance and visuals are cleaner. If you like narrative-driven solo games, put this on your must-buy list.
So, you need to get the fuck out of here. No, we can do this the easy way.
There, easy way. You're gonna hit me now, right?
I've been waiting a long...
Scott Pilgrim games just hit a special spot for me because they feel like playing a loud, colorful comic book. X feels like it takes that beat-em-up energy and turns it into a full single-player ride with style, humor, and that satisfying arcade rhythm. I love games like this on Switch because they are easy to jump into, but hard to put down once you get in the flow. If the combat has enough depth, like different routes, unlocks, and fun character options, it becomes way more than a quick nostalgia trip. The music and visuals matter a lot here, and Scott Pilgrim usually nails both. This is the kind of game I buy when I want a fun solo night. Snack in hand, just vibing and clearing stages with a grin. Total must buy for me. So yeah, that's my 10 must-buy single-player list for 2026 on Switch. If you want big stories, chill comfort games, and a few wildcards, this mix covers it. Drop a comment with your own top picks, especially if there's a game you think I missed, because I'm always hunting for more good solo stuff.